Hello and welcome to Board na Móna, Growise, Meet Me in the Garden. I'm Aoibhín Garrihy and I'm joined by gardener Paraic Horkan, who's going to talk us through injecting colour into your outdoor space.
May is the perfect month for planting up some instant colour, and albeit that we're planting in May, the colour will continue right through to the end of the summer. So what we need is a good quality container. I'm using a terracotta pot here, and size does matter when it comes to planter containers, because the bigger the pot, the more plants you're going to get in, but the easier it is going to be to maintain the compost and the plants themselves. So a good quality container. We're using the Go Green or Compost from Growise. I've also picked a selection of long flowering instant plants. So plants like the lovely Dianthus, which are scented, campanulus, which again will trail over the edge of the plants, and also a large plant. I'm using the hydrangea right in the center, just to give that little bit of height, but also a really beautiful show of color. And remember, that's going to go right through the summer. So all we need to do is fill up the container with the Go Green or Compost. This is a really good multi-purpose compost, so it's ideal for a wide range of plants. And if you've got a little bit of compost left over, you can use it in hanging baskets, you can use it for sowing seeds. So it's a really good quality compost. So pushing it down well, firming it in, and I'm going to use some trailing plants around the edges. So these little holes allow us to just take the plant out like that, push it through. Don't worry about manhandling it. And that is a lovely plant called yellow bidens. It flowers from now right through to the end of the summer. And because the flower is single, it's a single bloom, it'll attract pollinators into the garden as well. So the bees and the butterflies and pollinating insects will come and visit the pot all the way around. I'm also going to use some blue campanula. Again, it's a single flowering plant, lovely blue flowers right through the summer.
Beautiful.
And again, there's a plant that's going to attract a wide range of pollinators. So again, just pushing the branches together and squeezing it through. Now don't worry if you break a small branch or a little bit comes off, that's perfectly fine. The plant will replace that very quickly. It's just pushing it in like that. And again, the contrasting colour is going to be lovely, the blue
Beautiful.
And the yellow. Push it in. I'll use a little bit of Verbena, which again is just coming into flower. Again, single blooms, and that's going to give us lots of colour. Again, it's going to cascade over the edge of the pot. So really by midsummer, this pot is going to be covered in flower. You'll hardly see the terracotta pot, it's going to disappear. So pushing the compost right up against it. Another little summer flowering plant called a sedum. So again, lovely pink flowers right through the summer period. Again, just pushing it out through the edge. If you wanted, you could stick a little strawberry plant in.
Lovely.
Don't tell anyone, just leave it there. Or some herbs, if you want to plant a couple of herbs as well. And finally, we finish off with a scented Dianthus, a beautiful scent from this plant. It's in the Dianthus or carnation family. It's a dwarf variety, and again, it's going to flower the whole summer long. So again, we just push that in right at the edge here. Again, fold up the plants. When you're selecting plants, try to pick plants with lots of buds. There's plenty of buds just coming on that plant there. So a little bit of colour starting.
But it has somewhere to go.
Exactly. And it's going to go right through the summer. And another little perennial, this one called Celine, again with red flowers. So popping it through.
That colour, it really is an instant mood booster, isn't it?
It is.
Are people drawn to it as they always have been? You know, I know in my mom's garden, it's that instant joy that you get just from stepping out there on the greyest of days. But are people really still after that colour when they walk into your shop, for example?
Absolutely. Colour is really what people are after, some instant colour. And there's such a wide variety of plants available at the moment to offer you colour, both from shrubs and from bedding and perennial plants. And they're going to go the whole summer long.
But when you walk into a garden shop, you're drawn to the one that's flowering in that given moment. Should you really do your homework and make sure that it's going to last throughout the summer?
Absolutely. Ask in your local garden centre for some advice and select plants that flower at different times of the year. So there's no point buying plants that are all in flower at the moment, because you're going to have a garden that looks brilliant in May and June and early summer. So try to pick plants that will flower through the autumn, the winter, the spring and summer period. So you're trying to get the 4 seasons into the garden. So again, with the hydrangea, give it a good watering before you planted up, and that applies to all the plants. Water them well. So firming the compost then around the edge of the hydrangea. So pushing it in. Remember what we said about pushing extra plants in, the little bit of competition between them helps to get them to flower longer.
Which I think is such an interesting point, because I would be afraid to put too much in the one pot, and you know, you could end up buying a heap of pots just trying to space things out. It's not necessarily the case. You can shove them all in there together.
Absolutely. The bit of competition helps the plants to flower longer. So they compete for the nutrients and the water, and you just get so much extra colour from the plants. And also visually it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
You have no gaps between the plants. So again, just pushing the compost in around the edge. And finally, just finishing off, planting some plants around the base. So I'm going to use some summer flowering pansies.
They're gorgeous, aren't they? They're so full.
Just starting to flower now.
Yeah,
and again, they're going to go on the whole summer long. Around the edge of the pot, we're going to need about 7 or 8 plants. So I'll put in 4 of the pansies. That's going to be lovely. And again, they're going to drape over the edge of the lip of the pot. And we'll finish off with some of the Verbena again, that's going to trail over the edge. Push the compost close in around the edge of the pot. And that's it. How simple is that?
And when you go to water this, because I see we're right up to the top there, I mean, will there be a little bit of spillage, or do you reckon it's
Leave
okay?
about an inch. The compost is going to settle naturally as you add water anyway. And but try to have an inch again so that it acts as a well, and it allows the water then, once you water the container, that water will percolate down through the compost. Okay. You're going to water the container depending on how warm the summer is, but definitely once a week, maybe a couple of times a week if it's really warm, or if we're getting wet weather, probably once a fortnight. And it's as simple as that. Put it into a nice sunny spot on your patio, and you've got a ball of colour.
Of joy, a pot of joy.
A pot of joy right through to the end of the summer.
That's gorgeous, Paraic. Thank you.
We're all looking to make greener and more sustainable choices for our gardens, and one of the simplest ways is to choose the Growise Go Greener compost. It's made from 40% green waste, which is full of nutrition and suitable for hanging baskets, window boxes, or indeed for using to grow edible crops.
Móna Growise Go Greener is available nationwide.